Thanks for taking Rebuilding Together Arlington Fairfax Falls Church's online COVID-19 safety training. This training is required for all volunteers working on Rebuilding Together projects in 2022. Over the past year, our small teams have been following worksite safety protocols to protect homeowners, volunteers, and staff. We've updated this training to explain these protocols and to reflect changes to national guidelines and prevailing norms. Over the past 2 years, we've made real progress on the pandemic. Vaccinations are widely available, infections are down, but we're still far short of herd immunity, and variants are a continuing concern. All Rebuilding Together staff and our regular volunteers have been fully vaccinated. So most or all people you'll encounter on our projects will likely be vaccinated. But Rebuilding Together does not require vaccinations or documentation of such. This training covers 3 bases. First, the overall changes Rebuilding Together is making in how we plan and organize our projects. Number 2, our COVID-19 worksite safety protocols, which were updated on February 10, 2022. And finally, the all-important role of the safety supervisor. Rebuilding Together is changing how we select, plan, and organize our projects. We're limiting the scope of repairs to focus on health and safety, and we're relying on our team leaders and house captains to decide what other repairs to tackle. And we're relying on smaller teams overall, with no more than 8 volunteers inside a home at one time. As our partner organizations tackle projects on National Rebuilding Day this year, we are limiting team size to 10 to 20 volunteers. We're working differently with our homeowners, calling them the day before repairs to make sure no one has been ill or exposed to someone with COVID-19. We ask the homeowner and other occupants to remain at least 6 feet away from our volunteers and to wear a mask whenever our staff or volunteers are inside their home. We're also working with homeowners to designate a bathroom for our volunteers to use. Every Rebuilding Together project will have a safety supervisor, and this will be a full-time job for projects with 10 or more volunteers. The safety supervisor is responsible for everyone's safety during repairs, the homeowners, other occupants, volunteers, and staff. And the safety supervisor has full authority to call off the project, to require masks to be worn, to send anyone home. Rebuilding Together has a special training course for safety supervisors. Our safety supervisor has important responsibilities before, during, and after the project. They will check in with the homeowner the day before to make sure no one in the home is sick. They'll have a full complement of PPE on site, and they'll sign in volunteers, lead a safety briefing for new volunteers or larger teams, and designate a bathroom and hand washing station. During repairs, they'll circulate to monitor volunteers' compliance with these protocols, and at the end of the project, they'll ensure the trash is safely disposed of and the paperwork submitted to staff. Rebuilding Together's worksite safety protocols define how we will make repairs safely. These protocols, which are 2 pages long, are organized by the duties of safety supervisor, homeowner, and volunteers. We'll provide a copy to every volunteer, and the safety supervisor will post these protocols at each project. Every volunteer needs to understand and follow these safeguards. If you have a hard copy handy of these protocols, revised February 10, 2022, feel free to refer to it now. We encourage our volunteers to bring your own personal protective equipment, but our safety supervisor will have a full PPE complement on site, including a first aid kit, disposable masks for both volunteers and occupants who may need them, as well as wipes, gloves, sanitizer, etc. Because of their age, most of our homeowners and many of our volunteers are at special risk for COVID-19. So both volunteers and residents must wear a mask when volunteers are working inside the home. Masks are optional for volunteers working outside. Now we'll cover what each volunteer needs to do. Most importantly, stay home if you're sick or even if you think you may be at risk. Arrive on time and sign the attendance log. Check in with the safety supervisor. Maintain distance from occupants, and for that matter, maintain as much distance as you can from other volunteers. And wear a mask as directed by the safety supervisor, or of course, whenever you want to. Here are a few more common sense recommendations. Bring your own tools if you have them to reduce the need for sharing tools. Use the designated bathroom. Before you leave, dispose of trash safely. And most importantly, follow the directions of your safety supervisor. We do need your help covering some administrative bases. First, please email us the date that you completed this training. We are relying on each volunteer to self-certify your completion. And please sign 2 forms, our 2022 Volunteers Agreement and Release of Liability and our 2022 COVID-19 Acknowledgement and Release Form. Signing each of these forms will cover all projects during 2022. And at each project, make sure you sign the attendance log when you check in. Thanks for completing this training and for your help in keeping us all safe from COVID-19. Please let our staff know if you're interested in becoming a safety supervisor, which entails taking a short complimentary training. You can reach us at the email address below. Work safely.